Hello, friends from the comic world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and we're here to talk to you about the new releases for collected editions and graphic novels for June 2023. G and I work for Penguin Random House, and we manage sales around the world for comic retailers. So the titles that we talk about in these videos are from the publishers that we represent. Um, Also, want to point out that we're on social media, so you can find us at PRH International Comics on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And to tell you a little bit about the format of this video, what we do is both of us, G and I, have some picks from the month, from the new releases from the month. And so we talk about those first, and then we highlight a few titles also that we think that you need to take special notice on, and then we'll show you the rest of the list of all the other titles that are going to be published for graphic novels and collected editions in the month of June. So uh, now that that's been taken care of, let's get started. First off, one of my picks is the July 1963 omnibus from Marvel. It says Stan Lee, but it's actually a bunch of artists are involved in here. This is an omnibus that we already had last year and the year before. Marvel did 2 years ago. They did Marvel August of 1961 omnibus, and then they did Marvel June 1962 omnibus last year. And it, as you can tell, if you do the math, it's 60 years from the date. So it celebrates, uh, it collects all the comic books that came out from Marvel in that month, but usually it's because of one special anniversary. In the case of the first one, which was August 1961, it was the debut of the Fantastic Four came out for the first time. And then the one from last year, June 1962, it's the anniversary of Amazing Fantasy #1 with number 15, sorry, with Spider-Man debut being having his debut. And now July 1963 is both the X-Men and the Avengers. So this is a beautiful collection. This one, which is the main trade cover, the cover art was done by Javier um, Hernandez, and we also have two direct market covers. If I can get to them, sorry for the delay. There we go. And they're Jack Kirby covers, obviously with the July 1963 added to it. Um, these are awesome. I love these concept. I love that you can get all three of them, with the same covers and put them right next to each other. And I hope they keep doing them. Just to give you a taste of what's going to be included in this one, it's going to have Avengers #1, Amazing Spider-Man #5, Fantastic Four #19, and Fantastic Four Annual #1. Journey into Mystery #96. I mean, it has a bunch of other stuff. Strange Tales #113, Tales of Suspense #46. So as you can see, it has some really cool stuff included in there. And it's just a very great way to celebrate an anniversary. So those are it. Next up.
Okay, my next pick is Chester 5000. This is book one by Just Fink. I picked it because of how weird it is, and plus I like robot stories because I do. um, the tagline here, an erotic, robotic, Victorian romance. That's basically what it is. And you're kind of like, what? So this is very delightful. It's about this woman, Priscilla, who has needs, and her inventor husband is too busy to fulfill her needs. And to remedy the solution, uh, Chester 5000 is born and created. But it's the question of what if Chester is more than a machine? What is the consequence of trying to engineer love? And so this is what you have, this really kind of weird, but I'm intrigued story here. I also like uh the robot's face.
Yeah.
It's like yeah,
Very, very
yeah,
cool. See, is the
with
robot
his little bow
blushing?
tie. Hmm?
Yeah, and they're both blushing, right? That's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
under
yeah, yeah,
the. So I
yeah.
never seen a robot, I don't think, blushing before. Awesome. Very, very cool. Next up, another one of my picks is Dead Mall by Adam Caesar and art by David Stoll. This is from Dark Horse Comics. It's the story of this group of kids, and the Penn Mills Galleria, this mall, is going to be demolished, and these five teens sneak into the mall to take a look around before it's gone. Obviously, something teens would do. I certainly would have done it when I was a teen. And then, but however, while Penn Mills has been closed for years, the mall is far from abandoned. So you get an idea of what where this is going, of course. But I also want to talk about Adam Cesar, and it's somebody that I hadn't paid attention to before. I had heard the name before, but it's a he has written a ton of books, novels, and short stories, and even some movie scripts. And he has won awards for his books, and so he's very well known in the horror genre. I don't think this is the first graphic novel, I don't think. But definitely it's the first one that I noticed, and I'm looking forward to reading it. But also the awesome thing is that Adam has a YouTube channel, a very successful YouTube channel with a lot of followers around the world. Um, and it's called Project Black T-shirt. And what he does, he reviews a horror movie, usually an older, maybe 70s, 80s movie, but he has done also some of the more current ones. And so he does the review of the movie, of horror movie, and then he kind of pairs it with something to read. And it could be a novel or a graphic novel or a comic or something. So it has been an amazing concept. It's like, when you're thinking about going to a restaurant and they pair your meal with the perfect wine, that's what he's doing, but with horror movies and reading material. I watched a bunch of his videos this past weekend, so I highly recommend it. I recommend you go check him out on YouTube, and definitely check out Dead Mall.
Okay, complete shift here.
Yeah.
We have Fan Club Batman Squad. This is by Jim Benson. I picked this because it seemed like really silly and fun. Especially for like older people too, because it does go over, like it does call back to the Batman mythos. But to see it in like a format of these very derpy looking characters,
Yeah.
which I think it would be fun for especially for kids as well. So the premise: Ernest Fan loves and idolizes Batman to the point where he decides to model after him by setting up a crime fighting unit, taking on the superhero name of Gerbilwing, and he includes his friends. So his best friend takes on the alias of Nightstand, and his, I guess, babysitter takes on the name of Night Shadow. And then, of course, you must include the family dog, and his superhero name is Night Terrier. So we have we have this Bat family of set of characters who is gonna go out to fight crime, and they go out and encounter their first opportunity. And you're gonna have to read this to see how well that
Yeah.
goes. So, yeah.
Very
So it's
cool.
just like the funny uh, cart cartoonish. It's almost like I yeah, this is
It's a cool
for
satire
Batman
about,
fans who just,
yeah.
like, love to see it kinda being poked. Like,
Yeah, fun, fun.
it's
Yeah,
there's,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
a poke fun of it a little bit. You have
Yeah.
this one character that's, like, literally picking his nose.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the dog too.
Nightstand picking his names. Very, very cool.
Yes.
Excellent. So next up is Tiger Volume 1 by Petra Erica Nordlund. Um, this is by Seven Seas Entertainment, and this is an Eisner nominated webcomic. First time in print form. Um, Now the story, it's Ludovica Bonaire, who is the main character you see with a red hat and the red sort of outfit in the middle. She's a pamper Victorian novel, and she dreams of adventure, and you know she switches her brother, who's the one on top. So I kind of like look and say, well, now I'm not sure if it's him or her. So she takes his place because they look exactly the same, and takes his boat, his ship, and his crew, and she impersonates him to go on adventures, and not only to go on adventures around the world, sailing the seas, but also to do research for a book about her favorite aquatic creatures, the sea sponge. But obviously, after a while, she realizes life at sea is not as simple and as romantic as in the novels and literature. Um, so there's always something sinister lurking somewhere. Um, this is very, very cool. I was researching not just Tiger, but Petra Erica Nordlund. She's from Finland. She has a lot of followers on social media and on the web comic. And uh, there are some images that you can find obviously out there for this. It's very beautiful art. The story, I saw a few panels, which are also available on Edelweiss and in other places, and they're very cool looking, and the story is very intriguing and at the same time kind of funny. The guy who is sort of the guy on the right side, right above her, sort of smiling with a kind of with a ponytail. He is the first mate, but is also her fiance. And there's this page out there of she's coming onto the ship to visit her brother, and she's dressed up like a noble, big hair, and two birds on the hair, just stuffed birds. And they get into this flirty conversation in the in the page about nice birds. Oh yeah, they're dead. I mean, they're stuffed dead, and it's very cool the way that it's written by Petra. Highly looking forward to this. I love stories about the open seas, maybe because I come from a small island, but I'm not really good. I don't know how to sail, but I think it's something that everybody should check out. And check her out too. She has a very cool social media. I was looking through her Instagram, and she has a lot of amazing illustrations and lots of pictures of cats too. I guess she's a big cat lover. So highly, highly recommend this one. Next up.
So my next pick, I've actually did talk about this before. I can't remember if it might have been for a different definitely for a different video. But I did want to bring this back up because I think this is an important topic that everyone should read into. It's a graphic memoir. So Sarah Solar, who is the writer and illustrator here, tells their own story about what happens when you're in a situation where your partner decides to go with gender transition. And so it's their particular love story and a very personal work for the creator themselves. And so, as you can imagine, I'm very much, I very much enjoy um, like memoirs in the graphic novel format because there's just something about adding, it's just, there's something about having a creator do everything, like the writing as well as the art to communicate their thoughts and their feelings that is so true and authentic to them. And just to see that on the page is just something that I think it's beautiful to see in this art form. So I highly recommend definitely giving this a try when it comes out in June.
Yes. Great. And then next up, like I mentioned before, we're gonna go and highlight some of the titles that are coming, other titles that are coming in June. And I'm gonna get started with this slide. And we have Batman One Bad Day, The Riddler by Tom King. Then we have Batman Beyond the White Knight, Sean Murphy, collecting the amazing uh, miniseries that they published last year in single issues. Brutal Nature Omnibus by Luciano Saracino and Ariel Olivetti. And I met Ariel Olivetti in Puerto Rico Comic Con. He was amazing. Very cool guy. And then Dead Boy Detectives by Toby Litt and Mark Buckingham. This is taken from the pages of Sandman, these characters. This is by Toby Litt. And we have a box set, The Flash, The Fastest Man Alive, and then by Kenny Porter as the author, but I think it has Flashpoint, the Flash, the Fastest Man Alive, and I can't read the other one, but it has three cool stories to get you ready for the Flash movie coming up.
Mhm. Okay, and continuing on, we have the main cover of Loki, God of Stories Omnibus by Rob Brody. And then we have the DM cover, the direct market cover, as you'll see here. And then following that, we have the very popular Lore Olympus. We have the volume 4 coming out by Rachel Smith. And then we have the Love Report by Becca. And then finally on this page, a Masquerade Volume 1, written by Kevin Smith and Andy McElfresh.
Sure. Oh, and also Laura Olympus. Laura Olympus, all the volumes are coming out paperback and hardcover simultaneously.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Next up, Minor Threats, Volume 1, A Quick End to a Long Beginning, written by Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom. That was almost one of my picks this month too. My Little Pony classics reimagined, Little Fillies, Megan Brown and Jenna Ayub, and this is obviously a sort of an adaptation of Little Women,
I
but
like
with the
how they
ponies.
chose this cover out of all the covers they could have picked
It's
because it's so
amazing.
iconic to the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
Uh, Next up is Past Tense by Jason McNamara, and then we have Planet Hulk, World Breaker, collecting that miniseries, by Greg Pak, and the other miniseries, Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt by G.M. DeMatteis. Next.
Right, continuing on, we have Stamped from the Beginning. This is Ibram X Kendi and Joel Christian Gill as the creative team here. We also have Star Trek Library Collection, Volume 1. This is Mike Johnson, Roberto Orsi, Alex Kurtzman, Scott Tipton, and David Messina. Following that, we have Charles Soule coming out with Star Wars, The High Republic, The Blade. And then Saturday Morning Adventures. This is TMNT Volume 1 by Eric Burnham and Tim Lottie. And then what's really cool is the popularity of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. And now we're getting a collection of the really cool covers that came out in single issues. And so They'll put here the creative team of Kevin Eastman, Escorza, and yeah, both Escorzas here
Yeah,
listed here. So this is a pretty cool collector's item for sure for those who absolutely love the series. So
yeah. Can't get
mm,
enough. Last Ronin.
yeah.
Yes. And next, we have A Total Waste of Space-Time by Jeffrey Brown. I love Jeffrey Brown.
Mhm.
And then we have Wonder Woman Historia the Amazons by Kelly Sue de Kornick. And then Young Hellboy Assault on Castle Death by Mac Mignola and Tom Snigoski. And we have X-23 Omnibus Volume 1 by Craig Kyle, and we have the trade cover, and then we have a DM only exclusive cover on the right. And that is it for our highlights. And like I mentioned before, now we're going to leave you with the rest of the list. We'll play some very cool music, so it's not too boring for you. But this is, you're going to stop seeing us, but continue watching this video so you can see what's coming out in June. Thank you so much for checking this out, and we hope you enjoyed it and it's very helpful to you. Take care.